So in Florida, we've got no state income tax, we've got low gas prices, and we've got affordable housing. So where do they get you? If you're wondering about that, then stay tuned. Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in to my channel, Living in Tampa, where it's my goal to show you everything you need to know about eating, sleeping, playing, and living in the greater Tampa Bay area. If it's your first time to my channel, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, ring the little bell so you'll be notified every time that I release a new video. Today's video is going to be about the unexpected costs of living in the state of Florida, in particular in the Tampa and St. Pete area. So as I said before, we've got some really great things that make Tampa really affordable. Number one being, of course, the no state income tax. A lot of the reason that people from other states relocate here. Also, we do have some of the very most affordable gas throughout the U.S., according to a lot of the customers that I have coming into town from other states are always amazed at the gas prices here. Especially when you compare us to California. And then of course the price of our housing, even though it has risen here recently with the fallout from the coronavirus and all of the people that have been moving here, coupled with the fact that we've been in a very low inventory state for a very long time, the prices have risen considerably. However, in comparison to a lot of the states across the U.S., we are still one of the most affordable places that you can live. So where are some of these unexpected costs? Today, I want to go over that with you. And I also want to give you some pointers on how to circumvent those costs or how to maybe decrease some of these unexpected costs. So let's get started. So first and foremost, one of the unexpected costs that kind of caught me off guard was the utilities. In particular, I'm going to start with the electric. So number one being electric. Now, we are living in a very hot state, and that's a lot of the reason that people move here is they're tired of shoveling snow and they want to come down here to our beautiful beaches and shovel sand instead. And who can blame them? We have some of the best weather in the US of A. But along with that comes running your air conditioning almost nonstop, which does lead to a much higher electric bill than you might have in other parts of the US. So I will tell you that personally, I don't mind it being hot, and I'm very comfortable in 77 or 78 degree setting for my air conditioner. And in fact, if we set it lower than that, I'm freezing and my daughters are freezing and we're walking around with sweats and jackets on in the house if we set ours any lower than that. Most people that are moving here from other states are not comfortable at that temperature when they first move here. So that is going to add to your electric bill considerably, because that is one of my tips to help lower your electric, is to keep that at a higher setting. And once you've lived here for a while, you will be able to do that because your body will acclimate and you will start feeling cool, at a higher temperature than what you're used to. But here's the deal. A lot of us have pools, so we've got a pool pump that's running. I mean, that's one of the big attractors to moving to the Tampa Bay area, is you want to live that Florida lifestyle. You want to have a pool. 9 out of 10 of my customers that move here from other states say that that is a requirement for them to have a pool. Well, you've got to keep in mind that pool pump is going to be running, 7, 8, 9 hours a day, depending on the time of year. That's going to add to your electric bill. Your air conditioning is going to run probably 9 or 10 months out of the year. You might run a heater. Once you've lived here for a while, you'll run a heater more than you think you would. But when you first move here, you probably won't use your heat at all, but you will use your air conditioning year round. And that can be definitely a money sink. Me personally, we are a large family. When we first moved here, we had all 4 of our children living at home. And during the summers, with a pool and a 3,400 square foot house, our electric bill did get into about the $350 range for the summer months. Now the rest of the year, it was a little lower, typically around $250. But I will say also, our home was built in 2006. So another one of my pointers would be to buy a newer home, because the energy savings in these new homes is amazing. I've had several customers lately that are in new homes, and their electric bills, even with a pool, are considerably lower than what I've been paying. So having all those latest energy efficiency codes that the builders are using and appliances that the builders are using really does help you save money. It is a good reason to buy a new home. And another thing that you can do is to replace your air conditioner. If you have an older unit, the new units are amazing. They use a lot less electricity, and that's just one of the ways that you can lower your electric bill. Another way, most of our energy providers, we don't have that many. We've got basically Duke Energy is very large here. They are not quite a monopoly, but I would say that they do have the majority of the customers. And then we've also got Tampa Electric Company, which is also huge depending on what part of Tampa Bay you're living in. You're probably going to have one of those two providers. Both of them do offer what's called an energy-wise savings program. So basically, they install these devices on your major appliances like your pool pump, your air conditioning, things like that use a lot of electricity. And then they allow you to be part of this program where you get bill credits on your bill for participating. And basically during high peak times, they can cycle your appliances on and off. Now, in the heat of summer, they are not allowed to, cycle your air conditioning off. So it's not like that kind of thing. But you aren't able to use some of those appliances during the high peak periods, but it does end up saving you some money over the course of the year. They also offer this billing where you can just have a flat bill the whole year round rather than having that spike in your bill that you're most likely going to see otherwise in the summer months. Because like I said, in the winter is pretty affordable. I would say my electric drops by half in November, December compared to what it is in July and August. So that's another thing you can consider doing once you move here. Number two would be your water bill. So I'm told that our water bills are also quite high in comparison to some of the other states where I've been having a lot of customers coming in from. California, New York, they all seem to think our water bills are a little bit high. I will say that for me, we just moved, from Jacksonville when we moved here. So it wasn't a big difference for us. It was still within the state of Florida. I don't quite remember what we were paying in California, so I don't have a good reference for that. We have been here for 14 years now in Tampa. But my water bill typically in the summer months does go up the same as the electric does. But I would say that for the most part, you're going to be spending somewhere in the 120 to 180 range, depending on the size of your lot. If you're in a typical homeowners association neighborhood with the typical, size lot that's less than a quarter of an acre, that's probably where you're going to end up, depending on your water usage inside the home. Now, my tip for saving some money on this would be if you don't already have it, you probably want to look into the ability to use reclaimed water for watering your lawn or to have a separate meter installed for that, because our sewer charges are what's particularly high here. The water itself isn't all that high, but the cost for the sewer processing is quite high. So if you are paying that on the water that you're sprinkling on your lawn, that really drives the price of your water bill up, because we do have to water our lawns pretty consistently here due to the heat. The grass needs that water in order to be able to survive it. We do have a lot of watering restrictions here, where a lot of times you're only allowed to water about once a week because the way that our season goes. So we don't get a lot of rain for most of the year until the summer. So it's almost the same every year since I've lived here. We're in a drought. We don't have enough water. You can't water, there's water restrictions going on, and that will go on all the way through about May. And then in June, when it starts raining within a month, we've already made up for all those months where it didn't rain. So it is kind of cyclical. You're going to see that. But if you want to save money on your water bill, that would be the first place that I start, is with making sure that you're not paying a sewer charge on your lawn watering. Next up would be internet and cable. So we have somewhat of a monopoly kind of situation going on here in our area. Really the only two reliable providers that we've had for most of the time that I've lived here have been Spectrum and Frontier. They, are both very similar in their pricing. I think Frontier is a little bit higher. I think Frontier also has maybe a little bit higher speeds of internet. But when you're looking at their cable and internet packages, you are going to be looking at probably close to $150 a month for that. Exception being, if you are in an HOA, a lot of the HOAs have negotiated a volume discount with them. So a lot of times you might be able to have your cable included in the cost of your HOA or your internet included. It doesn't hurt to look into these volume discounts for sure. That's one way to save money on that. Another suggestion would be, don't be shy in calling them. Like, they try to bump that. They give you this introductory rate a lot of times, and then when that time is up, they bump that rate up. And if you don't call and try to renegotiate that with them or tell them that, hey, you're going to move over to the other provider because the price is too high, then your bill is going to stay high. So don't be shy with that. Call them and ask for a discount. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get it. Number 4 would be property taxes. So I am told by some people that move here that our property taxes are high. Now, other people that are moving from, let's say, Los Angeles or New York or Chicago, they think our property taxes are really, really low. So I guess it's all relative and depends on where you're coming from. So the reason that some people think our property taxes are high, I think comes into where there are CDD fees. Because in certain communities, we have these fees that are called CDD fees. And that does raise the taxes to a higher rate. Basically, I'm going to explain these really quickly. If you want more detail on them, you can check out my other video that's specifically about CDD fees. But basically, when a builder builds a new community, the infrastructure of that community, the amenities in that community, to pay for that, they take out a bond and then they pass that on to the homeowners. It's typically a 30-year bond, so you will be paying that for a really long time. And it does also have an operations and maintenance portion. So even if you pay off the bond portion of your CDD fee, you are still going to have operations and maintenance, which is basically the upkeep of all those nice amenities that you're getting. So if you are looking at a new community, it's very likely that there is a CDD fee, and that does make the property taxes on average about $2,000 a year higher than on a home that doesn't have a CDD fee. But you are getting all those nice amenities. You typically get a really nice resort style pool and a clubhouse, sometimes a fitness center. It has its perks, but you do have to pay for all of those niceties. But I think that's why some people think our taxes are high, because in reality, in Hillsborough County, on average, the property taxes are equal to about 1.09% of the property assessed value. And also in Pasco and Pinellas County, it's just a little bit lower at about 90. So definitely very, very much on the low end, in my opinion. A lot of states that I've read about is like 2.5%, 2.8%. So I still think our property taxes are low. But my tip for this, a lot of people don't know this about Florida. We are a homestead state. And what you can do to lower your taxes is to claim the property as your homestead property. Now, you do have to live there. It does have to be your primary residence. You do have to reside there for most of the year. But if you do that, it gives you an exemption of $50,000. So $50,000 of the assessed value of your home, you do not have to pay property taxes on. And it also caps the amount that your property taxes can increase each year. So it's a really nice benefit that we have here. The homestead exemption, some people call it the Save Our Homes exemption. It's awesome that we've got it here. Not all states have it, and it's definitely something you want to take advantage of. And if you need more information on that, don't hesitate to drop a comment below.